Daylight, my MVVs, welcome.
Yes, so from palace shadow to South American light. This is why I'll continue to tell you, when God is on your case, God is on your case. There's nobody, no goddamn person that can, pull down your shine. There are happenings, and indeed there are happenings. Yes, so there is a happening right now. There are shadows in every palace. Corners where envy hides, silence where whisper of jealousy echo, and footsteps of queens who walk the hallway without being truly seen. For years, Queen Naomi Ogunsi walked those palace corridors, not begging to be noticed, not trying to belong, but simply carrying her divine assignment. There's been this misconception when Naomi was still in the palace, or even when she left the palace. They thought that Naomi was somebody who was showing herself because of those social media pictures. Let me tell you something. Naomi is a star. Naomi is an A-lister. Wherever she goes, you see paparazzi all over the place. So most of the pictures you see out there are pictures that are taken by paparazzi, but that's not why we are here. And then today, one day she walked away, not in bitterness, not in defeat, but in quiet, majestic surrender to a calling greater than the throne itself. They thought she had left the palace, but the truth is the palace left, her destiny behind until now. Because the day came when the world, of course, South America included, stood up and asked, who will represent us? Who among the Yoruba queens can carry our history, our culture, our honor, and not stumble? The Ooni of Ife could, have named anyone else. But he didn't. He's got 6 wives. Yes, you and I know that he's got 6 wives. They are educated. Harvard University Okabiesi get. Oxford University Okabiesi get. Lawyer Okabiesi get. Fashionista Okabiesi get, according to Ramon. Artist Okabiesi get, because Blo self na artist she follow be. She can't be lawyer. She be everything. Accountant Okabiesi get from all the big schools in the world, okay? He did not name any of them. He insisted on one name, one woman, one queen, Naomi. Naomi Ogunsi. That single decision has now changed everything. Let me take you deep into the spiritual fabric of the story. For centuries, Yoruba spiritual leaders across South Africa, especially in Brazil and Colombia, have preserved the ways of Orimala, Oshun, Obatala, and Shango. These are not small communities, okay? They are vast, powerful, and filled with a sacred longing to reconnect with their motherland, okay? And so when the time came to crown a global traditional ambassador, a queen who would represent Yoruba tradition across continent, they didn't just want someone who could smile for cameras. They wanted a spiritual symbol, a woman who could carry the Oriki of 1,000 years without dropping. It's a woman who could whisper prayers that move cloud, a woman born of both fire and honey. That's when Corona Royale stepped in, okay? Not just a brand, but a cultural empire. $billion roots in wellness, tradition, fashion, and heritage. They partner with Yoruba elders, Royal Institution, international Yoruba groups, and even Orisha priesthood network to make one powerful act. Ooni of Ife, Ooni of Ife. Give us your most royal, okay? Give us your most divine. It should have been a competition. It should have been a long process, but it wasn't, because the Ooni of Ife did something that left the entire palace speechless. He looked beyond appearances, beyond royalty, beyond palace ranking, and he said with his full chest, I will pen this deal for one woman only. The only woman worthy of South America's crown is Queen Naomi. They're right. Disgrace flooded the palace like a hurricane. Okay? One queen reportedly locked herself. I have brought this before. They said Ebony locked herself in her royal quarters. Another was said to have cried in, the middle of a photo shoot and, they canceled that photo shoot. They said several had already flown their, as we have been here talking, while things were going on, they were laughing at Queen Naomi and all of that. They say whilst we're flying PRs and all of that, they were canvassing, doing everything to get these positions. But because Naomi had already entered through the gates of spiritual, favor, not palace favor, they picked her, Ooni of Ife. This ambassadorial rule is not just some ceremonial, search and handshake. It's a spiritual seat. It means Queen Naomi will now preside over Yoruba cultural summit in Brazil and Argentina, be, anointed as a high mother priestess among, leaders, host an annual. I have recounted all of this for you. So, something, when Ooni of Ife married Queen Naomi in 2018, remember how he came and he celebrated, okay? Ooni of Ife celebrated that. He was so happy that he did not just marry a woman. He married a woman, a spiritual woman. That God, needed that level of spirituality because of the things he saw in Olori Naomi. He was happy. And today, that decision that he made to choose Queen Naomi above all at the time is beginning to, manifest in so many things that are happening. The same Naomi who walked away with her, child and, people had so much to say is now the most globally recognized Yoruba royal woman of this generation. And just wait until their rituals is done, you will hear. The people are beginning to see the grace of God upon Olori Naomi. She didn't beg, she didn't campaign, she didn't fight. She was chosen because, you see, what is divine can never be outshined by what is decorrected. And what's about the Ooni of Ife? He did something even deeper. He didn't just approve the deal. He rewrote the deal in his own handwriting, insisting that Queen Naomi alone must carry this title, that no substitution would do, okay? Let's pause and breathe, okay? A man with multiple wives, a palace filled with rank and tradition, and yet he returned to Naomi, not physically, not romantically, but spiritually. He returned to the one whose voice still echoes in his dream, the one who knew how to speak to both the gods and the people, the one he calls in private moment, Aya Olodumare. Now, the world will call her by a new name, okay? The queen of the global Yoruba soul. Delaride, can you feel the power of this moment? Can you feel the power of God in the life of Olori Naomi? From being the quiet queen in the shadow to being the Yoruba light in South American skies, okay? From palace betrayal to international divine favor and honor. Queen Naomi didn't just rise. She was lifted by destiny. And the others, they will keep pretending, posting, smiling, dressing, but deep down, they know they watched Naomi. So while they stood still, they have fought Naomi. There's nothing they have not said about Naomi. They have called Naomi names. And that is why, they keep saying that at the darkest period of your life, you should not give up, because soon after that dark period, there will be dawn. And it will be so glowy. It will shine so bright that it will want to, put your eyes darkened, keep your eyes darkened. But you need to know that at that moment, God is with you. At that moment, God has spoken. At that moment, God knows exactly what he is doing in your life. God has shown Naomi mercy. God has shown Naomi love. God has shown Naomi light. God has carried Naomi like a baby, like a child the entire time. She's gone through so much, but God is compensating her in a way that man would never have done. They say if you see the royal celebration that is ongoing right now. Now, when you see the Oloris going up and down, not be them there. What is brewing inside by the time the rituals is over, that this thing will get out. Oh, Oloris, they no go see, they go hide. They go hide. This is what we are hearing. If the information is true, I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.